lost so much blood you thought you had superpowers? Hi guys, my name is Drew Philippoulias. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Aldo Mendez, and we are Between Nerds.
Hell yeah, episode 36?
I was going to say 37. Thank you. I think this is episode 36 of Between Nerds Podcast.
I might be wrong.
26. 36.
Yeah.
Season 2, episode 6. Yes, that sounds correct. And this past week, we watched Deadman Wonderland. And I feel dead. I am deceased.
Yeah.
I have lost all of my humanity.
No more wonder in this Dead Wonderland of, what is it, Globe Man?
Manglobe. Manglobe Studios. But before we get into the anime, we do want to do some quick housekeeping at the forefront of this episode. Please use hashtag anti-trafficking-nerds for every original tweet or Instagram post using hashtag anti-trafficking-nerds. You will automatically be entered into our March giveaway. And for every like or retweet on an original tweet or Instagram post using hashtag anti-trafficking-nerds, we will be donating to the Paso del Norte Center of Hope.
Yes, and so far we have gotten 0 interactions with it, which means that we're not going to give a giveaway this time if nobody uses it.
Yeah, literally no one has used it. Yeah. So, we'll just save it, and we'll get something twice as big and twice as cool for next time.
You know because, we've been spending pretty much the same amount, in every single... But, not that it's,
But we're trying to pick up fire. It's not about, the dollar amount. It's about picking up a novelty.
Yes. Speaking of, I got a new Luffy over there. It's pretty cool.
Why does Luffy have that X-shaped scar on his chest?
I don't know, man. I've been watching a lot of One Piece, but we'll talk about that in a Nerd Down. We are talking about 2011, Deadman Wonderland.
Yes. Deadman Wonderland is one of those anime that bombed in the East, was popular in the West, but I was reading up on it. Maybe a reason for that is because when Toonami got rebooted in 2011 on Adult Swim, Deadman Wonderland was the first thing they played.
Okay, yeah.
So it's, you know what I mean? We grew, a lot of the anime that
2011. We graduated high school in 2011.
Yes, we did. That makes me feel old. That the resurgence of Toonami, something I grew up with, was in 2011, which was already a decade ago. I'm ancient.
It is. And, good animation as far as fighting. The shit is everywhere. The story is everywhere from what we thought it was going to be. The motive at the beginning of this 12 episode fucking season, it gets lost in translation, and there's no payout any time.
Yeah. We were talking about the studio. It is Manglobe Studios. They also produce Samurai Champloo, and you can see that in the character modeling. It's really sharp line work. A lot of the characters look really jagged. There's not there's a good amount of color, but they're all the same palette.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, the animation's fine while in motion, but the character modeling just seems off. They're not even shaped like people sometimes. Yeah,
some of the horror faces that they want to animate is dude, it was where's that how is that a face?
This is one of those that would have been much better as a manga panel. A page in one of these horror faces looks like what I imagine Parasite looked like in its manga. But forefront of this episode, Aldo, what is Deadman Wonderland?
It's it reminds me of did you ever watch Twister Metal?
Yeah.
Twisted Metal or Death Race, the movie, the Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
But in an anime.
It wants to be super edgy. It wants to be really hardcore. It wants to have metal clowns almost.
Yeah, almost, absolutely.
But it misses the mark. Something about it does. It thinks it's super edgy and super hardcore. They say cuss words uncensored. There's a bunch of gore, needless gore, to the point that it's not shaded all that scarily either, because it doesn't seem horror almost. It's almost like a gag at some point. There's so much blood on screen. It doesn't even matter. Yeah, and
if we start the story, it sets us up with Ganta being in school, and he's just there's the motivation of the beginning is that all these students die, right?
Right.
His whole class gets killed by this fucking almost Stain looking character from My Hero Academia.
Right. And it's just this guy in a red outfit, red mask, and it's super tattered, and he's got magic blood powers, and he just murders everybody. and Ganta almost gets crushed and uses magic blood powers to not get crushed. And that's like all of episode 1. And he gets set up and he gets sent to prison, which is like a super like
the court. It was crazy because the court is like, oh, you're being put in like first degree murder out of your massacring your entire class. Mm-hmm. And the lawyer's like, no, that's not him. And then the other lawyer's like, yeah, that's him. Look at this video. And it's just like this video of like, again, weird animated face kid that looks like him in the classroom saying like, ha ha ha, fucking fuck this Lutz. Yeah. Or some shit like that.
And like, I think I mentioned it in the podcast before. I don't like those narratives where it just feels like the protagonist or the person I'm supposed to be rooting for is just being kicked down all the time. That's why, like, I'm not a big fan of Steve Carell's, like, movie career. Like, I've seen, like, a few episodes of The Office. I think it's fine. Mm-hmm. But Steve Carell's movie career, all of his films felt like that. It's literally just Steve Carell getting punched in the dick for, like, an hour and a half.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
And I never liked that. Something about that just gives me this ugly pit and, like, almost like an anxious feeling that I just can't gel with. And that's what this is like for, like, 7 episodes.
It's, like, what is his name? Shinji? From Neon Genesis Evangelion?
Shinji.
Yeah, like, they both have, like, the fucking, like, annoyance of their predicament.
Didn't we watch somebody recently that bitches all the time, too? In Code Geass, they're kind of bitchy.
Yeah, Code Geass is kind of bitchy. Yeah. But not as much. But, like, in NGE, Shinji, it's like, nah, I'm not gonna deal with it. And I'm like, fine, I'm gonna go deal with it.
Yeah, I hate my dad, so I'm not gonna save the world today.
But in fucking Deadman Wonderland, like, this kid still going through it. Like, he has no choice because he died. He, like, either does it or doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Because he'll die. Because then he gets sent to prison. Okay, so he gets convicted of the murder. He gets sent to fucking prison. And this prison is like a fucking show. It almost reminds me of that one movie where he's an actual prisoner, but he's being played by some kid in a video game.
Oh, it's, I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, because basically Deadman Wonderland is the name of the prison, and it's, it's a game. Like, it's a show. So, like, at certain points there's like a death race and it's like a bunch of obstacles and inmates are dying, but that's supposed to be what's cool about it because it's also a show for the audience, but they think it's fake because they're like, do you really think they'd kill this many people on screen? Like,
yeah. And I mean, the deaths are cool.
Gamer
2009. Yeah, with Butler, Gerard Butler, whatever his name is. Yeah. And yeah, the deaths are cool and everything, but the motivation right now towards in Ganta is that, oh shit, I need to, you know, like find evidence that I was set up, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Which at this point, I'm like, all right, cool. Let's see where this goes.
But that sounds like everybody's motivation in prison is trying to prove their innocence, right?
Absolutely. Well,
and that's what's super sad about it at this point. And again, it's like, wow, like, he doesn't even realize the situation he's in. Like, he thinks he's gonna be able to prove his innocence. He's getting, like, jumped for candy right away. He's getting sent to, like, the infirmary, and there's just a bunch of bad shit happening to him.
So the candy does something, right?
Right. So, early on, like, the very first character we meet at the prison is, the guy, the brother, fucking Yo. And he bumps into Ganta, steals this air quotes candy, and then Yo, like, quickly gets, like, the shit beat out of him by, like, the hot prison captain. And so Ganta... Machina, yeah. Which is, like, the only character model I think I liked in the whole show.
Pretty much.
And so Ganta goes to the infirmary to, like, check on Yo, and he's trying to explain to Ganta about, like, the candies, and he's like, yo, these collars that they have around our necks are slowly putting poison into our necks, so you have to eat candy every 2 days or else you're gonna die. Which is another way to serve out your sentence. So, out of, like, the ceiling comes Shiro, who's just, like, this crazy white-haired chick that's in the prison and is just, like, convinced that Ganta is her best friend.
Yeah, it's like It's like the foil, that super foil, because like Ganta, like is so bitchy all the time, and Shiro is just like
yeah, like nothing matters when trapped in prison.
Yeah, so it just tries to balance it out, but like the voice actor, at least in the dub for Ganta, is pretty fucking annoying, which is doing his job because that's what he's supposed to be. But
yeah, and what I don't like about some anime modeling is that like if you're in a prison. Or if you're in a school, like, your uniform can't stray too much from that, right? Mm-hmm. Like, what's her name? Shiro is literally wearing, like, a white bodysuit with red spirals over her tits.
And, like, some mittens?
Yeah, and, like, some mittens that are, like, tied to her fists. Like, how would that not stand out in a prison where everyone's wearing, like, this grayish-green jumpsuit?
Yeah, and, I mean, 2011, I mean, this is, like, straight trying to be, like, Zero 2, you know?
Yeah.
Red, white, pale, red.
I think the manga would have come out first, but it goes to that argument about that time I want to eat your pancreas.
Yeah.
Because that was only produced when something else was popular at the time. So I think you're right.
Yeah.
Like Mad Globe or whatever the fuck they're called, Man Globe, saw a character model that was popular at the time, and they tried to buy and produce a property to try to make similar results. But the thing about Shiro is that she's childlike, you know what I mean? Like, she's super immature. Like, you can't...
No, baby.
Yeah, she's got, like, a baby voice.
Pouty.
Yeah. So, you're not gonna have that same effect with 02, or you shouldn't, with somebody like Shiro.
Yes. So, I guess... okay, so when they go through the obstacle course, obviously, there's, like...
There's spikes on the ground. There's giant sights on, like...
Yeah, those sights. Yeah, you're right. And, so they go through it, and then towards the end...
Sights on a pendulum.
So, pendulum. Yeah.
So they're, like, moving back and forth. And then there's a scene where, like, the biggest dude in the prison that's in the race is just... He's gonna just jump Ganta.
Shinji, right?
Yeah,
with the blades on the forearms.
No. That's after this guy. This is in the race.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Kazumasa.
That's right. The guy in the locker room that he punches fucking.
Right. He's just some prison bully, and out of nowhere at the beginning of the race, he's like, "I'm gonna fuck with you, Ganta."
Yeah.
This whole time he's just trying to beat the shit out of this kid and have him fucking killed.
So at the end of towards the end of the obstacle course, there's this like falling platformer kind of things. Right. And they lead to spikes, obviously.
And the game is to just hold onto a ball the longest, and you win the race.
Yep. And they're just falling, and obviously antagonist fucking falls to his death. The bully that we met earlier in the locker room, and Ganta makes the choice of just like saving Shiro instead of playing the game.
Yeah. And that's my thing about the pacing. It just doesn't make sense. It's impossible to follow. Because, like, the pacing makes zero sense. This is episode 2. This could be a whole arc of a different anime. Introducing a different boss and, like, this different, like we don't have the power system yet, but that's almost like a power system. You know what I mean? Because we're learning how Shiro and Ganta are working together, and it feels like it needs more time. And that's when, like, I initially was like, something's just off.
We've talked about liking a lot of 12-episode animes. Umamis. Animes that because they're able to fill a lot in one episode.
Right.
But fucking Deadman Wonderland doesn't seem to know how to do that.
Yeah,
because in every episode it's like, oh shit, I should learn information, but what? There's what? Just
what are we getting out of this?
Exactly. So
it's just a reason to show blood half the time. It's just like we're gonna be in a super violent situation just so we can animate blood.
And yes, which don't get me wrong, I like gory shit. I like seeing shit like that. Oh, like some of the first time watcher, I was like, oh shit, this and that.
For me, like if I were to watch something with like. That's not great written, that's not super original. No, I take that back. Deadman Wonderland is original. But if I was going to watch something that was like sort of edgy, where they say bad words and there's some blood,
that wouldn't be my to-go.
Yeah, I'm going to watch Akame Got Killed. You know what I mean? Like, in no way am I going to be like, Deadman Wonderland. That's what I need to fucking watch. It's like deciding you want to watch Parasite. Like, why would you do that?
Nope.
There is zero reason to ever do that to yourself.
I watched Deadman Wonderland and Parasite out of research purposes.
But again, it's just these horror anime just do not do service to their manga.
They're missing something. The whole medium, the whole anime medium misses...
It's just not built for horror anime.
Because what I think, for me, not scary... But in a way, like, fuck, and thrilling and weird like that, it's Berserk. Something like that. That's a good storytelling for me, as far as, like, in the gory, scary, demon-like kind of way, you know?
Right.
But, and even not 1997 Berserk. Or even,
like, Full Metal Alchemist.
Just... Oh, and by the way, same voice actors for, like, Alphonse and the other guy.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's just... Parasite and Deadman Wonderland is just watch all this shit working on fucking anime.
I looked up as soon as I saw that the pacing was off. I was like, they're fucking up the manga. So I started looking up stills of the manga, and like the way the pages are laid out is just like there's a whole page that shows like a horror or a gore scene. You know what I mean? Something that's like animated in like 12 fucking frames in this anime gets like a whole spread of a page just to show you some freaky image, and it's manga, so it's all black and just the white grainy manga page. But here it's just like the color palette is really ugly, and like the blood, it's not when it comes to like 2D animation and blood, they always go like super shiny and like light that almost looks like a red Kool-Aid, or they go so dark and to try to give it that like super like greasy, like sitting out blood, goopy kind of feel, which is like kind of scarier. But the thing about Deadman Wonderland is the color palette is so bland that it doesn't even give off that same scary effect anymore.
Yes.
Because if everything's like a gray and like a really beige green...
And for like 3 episodes, it went completely fucking dark.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't see shit. They were in a tunnel or something. But anyways, before we get there, yes, I know, you're right. Fucking the blood, it was crazy. I believe that after the fucking...
The race?
The race, we come to our second thing, that it was a match between these blood users.
Yeah. So then, out of nowhere, we get into like the gist of it, which is like
the Redman attacks again, right?
Right. So the person that killed all of Ganta's classmates, just out of nowhere, just no reason is ever given, but he shows up and does a giant blood tornado and murders everybody in the common area of the prison. The
little crystal circle thing that it's around the power, that looks kind of cool.
It does look dope.
That looks kind of cool.
The activation of the powers look dope.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good. But see, that's what I mean. There's only like these brief glimpses of some quality animation in there. And there's never any motivation for anything. Except to like... hear Ganta fucking cry.
Well, as a first time watcher, I'm kind of like inclined to overlook why there's no motive against this guy coming in, because I'm still like waiting on Ganta proving his innocence.
Right.
You know,
which never happens.
There's
no payoff anywhere.
Yeah.
And
or at least at this point, figuring out who the fuck the Redman is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it's sort of, by the end, they kind of spoil it, but they never fully explain it, so it's still confusing. So, okay, so Ganta is now a blood magic power user. Right? He's got blood bending from fucking Avatar. So, he can, like, shoot a ball of blood...
really hard. It almost like makes me think...
It's like Spirit Gun.
It's almost like... It makes me feel like the creator of fucking Fire Force was there watching. I'm like, I'm gonna do this with fire. And he just went up and do the same shit but with fire.
Yeah, I said that about our Fire Force episode too. It's like, it's such a tacky power system. Like, it could be anything. You know what I mean? The Redman makes a blood tornado. It could be just a fire tornado.
Oh, and then
because it doesn't even behave like blood anymore. You know what I mean? So you're just making up a power system. It could be Ki from fucking Dragon Ball for I know.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't actually... They're trying to do pseudoscience to make it fun and interesting and cool, but they don't stick with it, so...
Yep, and...
It could be anything.
And then, so now Shinji is shooting his fucking blood and becoming anemic at the same time.
It could be Nen from Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
It's just... Well, that makes more sense. It could, yeah, you know what I mean? It's just the nameless power system.
Yeah.
But it's blood because we're edgy.
Yeah. And they want to just show blood.
Yeah.
And in a way, I mean, first time watcher, and I was just looking at it, I'm like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
just throw blood.
What I kept thinking about was the smell. I'm like, that whole courtyard just smells like iron, and it's super gross and ugly because recently last year when I was working at the water company lab, I would test for iron out of certain water samples. So what you do is you dump like iron, like an iron agent over it, and it activates the iron in the solution. So like if I was testing a raw water sample, there's a bunch of fucking iron in it, and if I were emptying out the vial, it would just smell like straight blood. Oh, disgusting. It's like 9 a.m. I'm in a fucking lab, and I've got a coat, and I'm just...
They put him, and they put now we meet Shinji, right?
Shinji's the chicken white. Is that who you meant? I mean Shiro.
No.
Which one's Shinji?
Shinji's the guy. The guy with the blades.
Yeah,
with the blood
Shinji.
Blades.
Yeah, Senji.
Senji, there you go. Senji.
So well, it's not even like that because it's like they meet before then because for no reason he's just like, you know what? I'm gonna go find the red man and punch him in the dick because he set me up. And Shiro's just like, oh, I magically know where that is. We're just gonna walk our jolly asses to the bottom of the prison complex and no one's gonna stop us.
You're right.
So they walk over to G Block, episode 3, G Block.
You're right.
And they're fighting this giant prison robot, and it accidentally busts the door open, and that's where we get Senji, and he tries to fight Gonta right there. But it's clear that he was a fan favorite character because he's also the focus of the OVA.
Correct.
And like.
Which doesn't matter either.
It's just like, it's clear that like every episode with him in it, they just try to do a little extra. They give him a little bit of extra screen time. They throw a couple extra frames on him. Like
the first fight was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. The first fight is pretty cool, but then you have like this fucking like bitchy kind of dialogue of fucking Shiro talking about Gonta. It's like, oh, and I remember that. The best part about him, that every time he goes down, he gets up. And then at the same time, he's getting up at the fight with fucking Senji.
Like, we don't even know who Shiro is. She's just some crazy white-haired albino that, like, is absolutely obsessed with Gonta. But she's talking like she knows exactly who he is as a person. And it's not until, like, 5 episodes later that we get any, like, story about her.
Yeah, and... At the same time, we're seeing like this like flashback in Shiro's head about them knowing each other from
at like a daycare. Or something.
Yeah, at a daycare again, which brings me back to fucking the same as Darling and the Franxx when fucking Hiro doesn't fucking know that she knew fucking Zero.
Yeah.
When they were younger. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then he gets up.
I didn't even think about that. That's such a cliche anime trope. Now that I'm thinking about it, wow.
And then now we know fucking Gonta fucking shoots a blood ball like fucking Super Mario to the fucking this big old thing that is hanging. It fucking falls on what is Senji, and he just fucking hits him in the fucking chest, which is pretty cool. I like that whole scene when he fucking just like hits him in the fucking chest.
It felt like a Naruto scene almost.
Yeah, it did.
Like a Naruto fight scene. And then we just get this quick scene for like the chairman. What's his name? The promoter.
The promoter.
The guy with the glasses.
The guy with the glasses. Tamaki.
I know you know who I'm talking about. The son of the owner of Deadman Wonderland.
Son of...
The promoter.
Maka? The promoter?
The dude with the glasses and like the slick back hair. Are you serious? The guy with like the playpen of an office?
I can't remember.
Are you serious? He's in like every episode. Anyways, so
what's his name?
Tamaki. He's called the promoter. He just calls himself like the promoter the whole time.
Okay.
He's the guy that the captain is always mad at because he's like keeping secrets away from like the prison guard system. Oh, so he's like the guy that's manipulating. We learned that he's the guy manipulating all these like bloodbenders or whatever the fuck they call them. And so the true reason for Deadman Wonderland is just to make like a fighting pit with these blood users, and they're just going to fight each other to the death. And that's what Deadman Wonderland really is. So that's why Gonta was set up, was so that he could be a part of this system where they're just making money watching people kill each other with blood magic.
Mm-hmm. Almost UFC-like, but not as entertaining.
But yeah, it's because like So he goes into G Block, and he's a part of this prison system where he has to earn the cash points by killing people. So the first person he's gonna kill is Senji, and they all have like bird nicknames. So Ganta's nickname is what is it? It's a hummingbird.
Woodpecker, isn't it?
Woodpecker.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's cool and it's not cool because Ganta's such a bitch of a character. He just jumps onto a tree that's in the background and he's just holding on for dear life, and he's like, "No, Senji, don't kill me with your magical arm sights," which is it's cool and it's not cool because that's such a ninth grade version of what would be a cool anime power. I just have super strong sights that come out of my arms.
It was cool because it got me thinking into Devil May Cry cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's super
And I'm oh yeah, if Devil May Cry, if Dante was wearing that shit, I'm cool, that's dope. But yeah, I know what you're saying. It's
called Carnival Corpse.
The fight?
The gladiator game, yeah.
Yeah. Carnival something. Yeah, that's right.
Carnival Corpse.
And they have a cool fight. I mean, it's just pretty much Ganta.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. It's not. Because Ganta is just getting his ass whooped the entire time, and it's just to get to the point that he's so beat up that he can't keep going. I don't like
the inconsistencies in the power system either. Because we've seen that Senji's scythes out of his arms are super sharp. He can cut a rock in midair, super anime you know what I mean? But when it comes to actually fighting Ganta, he can take a million slashes to the arms without losing an extremity. And it's not sharp, but at the same time it is sharp, but it's not sharp when it's against the antagonist because the narrative doesn't need it to be. So it's and the next fight in Carnival Corpse after this is exactly the same way. It's just so many inconsistencies in how people's powers actually work. And the whole fight is just Ganta just shooting his blood blast across the stadium, just crying and be like, "No, please don't kill me. No, I don't want to die yet. No, get the fuck away from me," until he just gets lucky and just makes it extra fast and it hits Senji and he passes out.
Yeah.
And then we get an extra little piece of gore because after every loss in the Carnival Corpse,
for no reason,
they have to lose an extremity. So they do a roulette, and Senji has to lose an eye. So this crazy ass doctor just rips an eye out for everybody on TV to see,
and it's just super what is that? Suicide Squad Joker. Oh, I'm not gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
Very fucking, I don't know.
And it's not scary. It's so, not scary, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's a fucking joke.
And she's just, licking her lips while taking out his eye and shit. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. Losing an eye, that'll be crazy. It's crazy. It looks weird, but they just make it so try hard to be, gory that it becomes a little funny.
Yeah. And so, I feel like I almost got interested when we learn about the next character who's Takami, and she's just this girl, you know what I mean? So now that what's his name, Ganta is in G Block, he's with all these deadly people. They're called Deadmen, and they're all the blood-bending people. And he just hears this girl being harassed outside of his room, and that's this girl Takami. And Ganta is supposed to be a good guy, so he falls for the first girl he sees, and he goes to her bedroom and sees all her flowers, and she gets naked, and we get half a scene of fan service right here, and it's almost annoying because it really feels like he's trying to take advantage of a vulnerable person, but she turns out to be a sociopath who gets off on trying to eat up guys' vulnerability like that and turning them into pussies because she can slice them up because she's a dead man. So then that immediately rips away the attachment and interest I was having.
Any attachment that they previously showed us. Yeah, any attachment exposition that they just gave us, it goes out the window as soon as this bitch is just crazy.
Because again, it's Senji. It's a bad written Senji. Because the minute she's oh, I got beaten, I don't want to be in the Carnival Corpse anymore. Please save me. What's his name?
Ganta.
Fuck, I can't remember his name. So just run. They do like a fake prison escape because he falls in love with the first girl he meets, and they're running out of prison, but they get kidnapped. Oh no, it's the lovers' quarrel. This is all within like 5 minutes of actual like
one episode.
Of one episode. So they're getting arrested by the guards, and they're just like, get back here, Hummingbird. You got to get ready for your fight tomorrow. And Gonza's just like, oh no, I have to fight you tomorrow? And she's like, you're damn fucking right.
Yeah.
So the fight starts, right? And she's still like toying with him. She's like, oh, I've got blood that comes out of my ears and it's part of my hair, which it's okay. But it feels scary because it seems sharp at first, right?
And she has like this whole like fucking dialogue piece that is so shitty and like just like
it's just meant to show like an ugly face.
Yeah, and like they just or lewd faces too, because she was like, oh yeah, please keep going, please keep being a little bitch.
She gets there's like a piece of dialogue she says where like she gets wet to like seeing guys get hurt or something.
And then her brother Joe, right?
Yo
gets back in here and he's like, stop, that's my sister, Gonta.
Yeah, because Yo got arrested in this super crazy prison just so that he could find his sister in the prison. And now we have this whole piece of exposition in the middle of this fight that's just showing Yo and Takami's backstory. And it's like, Takami was getting abused by their dad, and it was sexual in nature too. And so she snapped one day and killed him. And that's why Yo feels like bad, and he wanted to rescue her from this prison because, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Maybe that dad had it coming. Mm-hmm. But we learned that she's a sociopath, and she really does like killing people. Like, so she kind of, even though she was being abused, she kind of got off on killing him. And that's why she likes being a part of this carnival corpse.
Yeah, and like I said, all the attachment things out the window. Yo had already betrayed at this point
Gonta like for 3 times.
Reason, like 3 times, yeah. And Gonta's like, no, that's my friend, don't fucking hurt him.
Yeah, because he was in touch with the producer. Mm-hmm. And that's how he was going to get these cast points to like try to buy his sister's freedom. But people in the Carnival Corps can't buy their freedom with cast points anyway, so it was all a scam. It was just a reason for the producer to fuck with Gonta and awaken his Deadman powers. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. Because I think at this point we already know that one of the doctors or one of the scientists in there played the guy that played Gonta's lawyer.
Yeah.
So there's some motivation there. Still, that Gonta might prove his innocence, you know?
Yeah.
But it never comes.
It never comes. There's no payoff in this entire anime whatsoever. So, like, all Gonta does in the rest of this fight is he just does the Takano Jutsu from fucking Naruto and just convinces Takami to just not be a cunt and try to kill everybody.
Yeah.
And again, it's like inconsistency in the blood power because her hair and her blood fucking borningness is seen as like super sharp and she can cut leaves in the air. But like when it comes to cutting Gonta's arms, she can take like 1,000,000 hits because the narrative needs it.
Yeah, she just throws fucking whips here and there, and he just hits.
He just takes it, and he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. And again,
it also doesn't make sense how much blood they're losing.
We're like in episode 5, 6 already. 7 already. God damn it! There's nothing in this fucking anime. Even about more than halfway gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like the narrative we've been trying to explain has already gone all over the place because, like, that's how it feels watching this anime.
But if you're a first-time watcher, you're still holding on until, what the fuck is gonna happen with Gonta's innocence? Oh, shit. Hopefully he does something. And the next episode, it turns into, like, Prison Break.
Yeah. Because, okay, so Hitaka no Jutsu, Sakami, and now she's a good guy, and now she's made up with Yo, but they're still all trapped in prison. But, and yeah, so the tonal shift is just like from one episode to next.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, episode 7 starts, and
we meet like a shitload of guys that are stuck in vents or like tunnels that they have like secret little fucking...
Right, there's like a secret organization within the prison, and they're trying to recruit Gonta and
to Prison Break.
Yeah, so it's just Prison Break. It's just I don't know. It's just all these ex people in the Carnival Corps. We meet a guy named Owl. We meet this chick named Koshio, and it's just all these people are gonna try to break out of this facility like they've never tried it before, and it just doesn't. But like, it doesn't work out, but it's clear it's not going to work out at the beginning of the storytelling, and it takes like 3 episodes for it to tell it. Yeah. Because I don't know, they just convince Ganta that, hey, now that we have you and you just met us, and I know you don't trust us, but help us break out of prison, and we hope you won't get murdered.
Yes, and then like relationships built for like another 2 episodes.
Right. And people die. Like,
and people die, but what I'm trying to get at is that the Ganta didn't... Like, he just got attached to these people. Because he fucking forgot about the people he wanted to avenge in the first fucking episode. Which were his fucking beloved friends, which we never saw any relationship to. No. You know what I'm saying?
We saw no real attachment to them at all.
If we would have seen, like, one friendship episode at the beginning, maybe we would have fucking cared. But then at this point, he's not trying to fucking prove his innocence and avenge. We don't even hear about the Redman till, like, the last episode from here.
Yeah. Like, you have no idea what the fuck's going on at this point. All of a sudden, it's Ocean's 12. And
yeah, dude. Ocean's 12 for sure, dude. It's fucking crazy.
And it's just... It
becomes a heist because of the fucking thing.
Of a data chip.
Yeah, the data chip, obviously, because on a USB.
And that's my thing about the pacing. And everything I read about Deadman Wonderland is... It got canceled because they just rushed the manga for some reason. It's like what they're doing to season 2 of The Promised Neverland. Because The Promised, it's pretty bad. They've skipped like 5 arcs. There's absolutely no source material that they're going off of. And I don't know why some of these anime studios do that. Like, how do they not have a working relationship with the publisher or even the author that would be like, yo, we're going to cut this part, that part. And maybe the author would be like, no, why the fuck would you do that? Or else none of the rest of it makes sense. Because that's what happens here. Like, it's just clear that so much is cut that it just doesn't make sense. It just wants to take you to these bad action scenes. Because the prison break is with all these characters that we don't give a fuck about, and they're just dying from these extra superpowered guards that have, like, these anti-Deadman weapons.
Yeah.
And these characters stick with the story, and you're supposed to care, because like the owl character, who is part of the Carnival Corps, is he almost dies.
And guys, like we're saying, this happens in episode 8, begins in episode 8, and it goes through it and pushes through it till episode 11. Till episode 11, it goes the same way. They're trying to fucking find a way. They meet what is his name? Who was it? Not Senji, the other cool guy.
The other cool guy? Not the priest?
Gito?
It wasn't the owl, right? Nagi?
Yes, Nagi. They meet Nagi. Is it Nagi?
Nagi Kangamin, the guy that loses his arm?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, and we're introduced to an extra layer of like prison security. Mm-hmm. And they're just these super crazy people that have these blood nullifying weapons. So that's how they're able to deal with Deadman. And it's cool / who gives a fuck, because one of them ends up being a tiny girl with a giant segmented sword, like the guy from Bleach. Uh-huh. The guy with the red hair from Bleach that has the... Yeah. What's his name?
I can't remember.
Whatever. He's got like a detachable sword that stretches out and you can slash people with it. So she's just slicing up this dude that we've only known for an episode, and it's supposed to be like this super tear-wrenching scene, and we're like, oh no, the owl's dying. But it's like, we barely know the guy. Yeah. And half an episode after this, the prison break is just like, it's just deemed like null and void, and it's all like whatever.
Like the entirety of Deadman Wonderland feels like the last 6 episodes of like Darling in the Franxx.
Like none of it matters.
Yeah, it's just like just story after story without any payout.
Way too many plot points, just not going anywhere, just for the sake of introducing it.
And again, the fighting scenes that we see, which again you have no attachment to because nothing relates to anything, they're cool. They're cool fighting scenes.
They're fine,
but there's no attachment to those cool scenes. You know, I've been fucking watching One Piece, And it may not be good fucking animated at the beginning, but it's still better than fucking
Deadman Wonderland.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's what people don't understand a lot of the time, because, like, I can't understand how you're like, I'm going to watch Deadman Wonderland, or I'm going to keep rewatching Deadman Wonderland because it's short and I know what it's about and I feel a certain way about it, but you feel a certain way about getting into something that's 900 episodes deep, like One Piece, and even watching it, like, incrementally, because you're like, oh, but what if the payoff's not there? What if it's not good enough for me to keep watching? But you're going to purposely watch something that's absolute garbage because it's short. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I can go through 20 episodes of One Piece like this, bro.
Right.
Like
yeah.
this. And even if the first 5 minutes are explaining what happened on the episode before, I like it. It's cool. I want to know that little bit. You know?
Yeah.
I want to know that little bit of it. It feels like I'm watching Goku for the first time. I mean, Dragon Ball Z for the first time. And because I'm like, oh shit, I'm intrigued. You know, I'm intrigued on what's going on. But it's better than Dragon Ball Z, obviously. Like, the storytelling, the character development is way better.
In the tone in Deadman Wonderland, it doesn't know what it wants, because the intro song is like a really bad rendition of, like, an American 90s like
Green Day, Green Day fucking,
like, earlier I was gonna say, like, a grunge song. Like, it feels like it wants to be
maybe like Incubus or like,
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it feels like. It's just this super dated,
like, so
it's like new metal without the new metal part. It feels like Nine Inch Nails without the cool bits. It feels like if Metallica didn't know how to write a song. It feels like, you know what I mean? Like, if you were watching Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network, like, and they would call something extreme or something, like, it's what, like, a middle-aged person would think kids think is hardcore.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and conservatives.
Yeah, and it's so, like, that's what every episode starts with, and it doesn't even sit right in your stomach. It's just like, yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but we're doing polls, and we are doing suggestions that everybody has given us. So that's what we keep putting on the polls. These were suggestions by our man, what's his name? Valentin, and my friend Keith.
Right.
Guys, please watch something else.
Honestly, Valentin's on my shit list when it comes to recommendations. I don't think you for sure have not liked one thing Valentin has recommended.
Well, it's only 2 things. So that's...
it might be 3. It was Soul Eater. It was Deadman Wonderland.
I wasn't fun of that one.
And it was... Oh, it's because he wants us to watch Tokyo Ghoul. No, honestly...
I hate Tokyo Ghoul. I don't hate it, but it's bad.
And it's the same kind of bad. It's the same kind of bad. It's that wannabe, like, super, like, hardcore, scary, emo kid kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like that wants to be edgelord but isn't written well enough to be an edgy anime kind of thing. It's the exact same thing.
We'll watch Tokyo Ghoul if you guys want us to watch Tokyo Ghoul. But
I need like 50 people to tell us to watch Tokyo Ghoul before we watch Tokyo Ghoul.
I need a lot of people to tell me to watch Tokyo Ghoul. But anyways, guys, watch something else for sure.
Hold on. Before I forget, we had somebody, a fairly new... Twitter follower hitting us up and recommending Naruto, and we're always shitting on Naruto, right?
Yes.
His name is Black Lavender G.
Black Lavender.
Yeah, and he was adamant enough for that he wants us to watch Naruto that I did throw the Land of Waves arc of the original Naruto up on the poll.
I did see that.
Well, that's why I did it, because of Black Lavender G. Like, against, like, my own interests, if we're being fully honest and we're telling people to give us recommendations, we've had enough people at this point, including him, that I was like, okay, I'll just throw it on a poll. I'll let the people decide. The people have not decided for Naruto.
Yeah, and like I said, it's something that we have to approach like One Piece.
Yeah, you know? In pieces. You know what I mean? Like, you could make the argument, like, nah, you gotta skip straight to Shippuden. We're not gonna do that. Because, like, we need, like, background information on it. Because I've seen the entirety of Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, but only the, what's canon. I always skip filler. And But keep in mind, Naruto, the original, came out like almost 20 years ago already. So we would need to get back into it. But if the best arc of Naruto is the Chunin exams, and that's what made Naruto, like they still replay those fucking scenes on Twitter, that's 56 episodes. So we got to get through those first 25, which is both the prologue and the Land of Waves arc.
Correct.
So if you want us to get into deep Naruto, that thing needs to win 2 polls, basically. For us to get to, like, if it wins 1 poll, we'll watch Land of Waves. It needs that second poll win for us to be willing to watch the Chunin exams. Yeah. But, like, I'd be down to watch up to there because I don't remember anything else in the original Naruto really mattering.
We'll put a pin on that. But anyways, we're heading to the end of fucking Deadman Wonderland.
Are we? What is the story about?
I don't know, bro. But anyways, last 2 episodes.
Okay, no, hold up. The prison break ends because one of the
they don't even get out.
Yeah, they don't even get out because
so it doesn't end.
Failed. Not only are the superpowered guards with the magical blood neutrifying power system like beating the shit out of everybody, but
cool
like
armor though. I guess
it's all right.
I just want to point out the things that I liked because I didn't like so many things about this fucking anime. So I'm trying to, But it was part of the inner circle that caused the plan to fail because the dude Bundo with like his with his magical with his chip Bundo's the smart guy that gave the chip. Yeah. And
he also manipulated the video that made Gonta look guilty. And he was part of the Carnival Corps too, so he's missing like vertebrae in his neck. So he's always having to like hold his neck, which is more annoying than it is scary. And it's never fully explained how, but Shido randomly runs into an ex Carnival Corps member named Toto in the club room, and she tells Shiro, like, no, this is a trap, that microchip is a bomb. So Shiro goes, throws the bomb into a room, it explodes, and Shiro thinks he needs that to escape the prison. So he's all yelling at Shiro, and he punches her in the face, which is like, I can't remember the last time I saw an anime where a girl got punched in the face.
Konosuba.
Oh... But that one's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This one feels ugly. Like, it's so, like, you know what I mean? Like,
you don't want to see that.
This chick's just, like, obsessed with this guy, and he, like, calls her a bunch of names and punches her in the face. And we have to deal with, like, 2 episodes of her crying.
Yeah, just like you don't want to see, like, a deaf girl being picked on. You know? Like, you don't want to see a girl character get fucking punched in the face.
I miss the silent voice.
Silent voice is cool. But anyways...
So we get this extra scene that's like never explained in these 12 episodes. So the producer, his dad is the creator of the promoter, his dad is the creator of Deadman Wonderland. And he's like the super decrepit guy on like a bunch of life support systems.
Oh, yeah.
But he's also a dead man.
Yeah.
And he just wakes up randomly when the promoter leaves one day, and he decides to have a dead man battle with a girl that looks like Shiro. Like a completely different personality, but it looks like Shiro, and she's there, and the old man's like, yo, do you want sweets? And Shiro number 2 is like, no, that's Shiro. You always confuse us two. And they have a dead man battle. And then they show that the old man has the red man armor, the guy that killed Gonta's entire classmates. Mm-hmm. And Shiro number 2 puts on the helmet. And that's supposed to be a big reveal, and it's never explained. Like, I guess Shiro's dead man or something, but she's not shaped like dead man, or the old man was dead man, and I don't know.
See, I mean, as a first-time watcher, you're watching this, and I thought, I'm like, am I not paying attention?
Right! They're skipping so much, the story doesn't make sense.
Exactly. So I'm watching this, and I'm like, I'm on episode 10, 11,
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, like, do I need to go back and rewatch this?
Do I know who this old man is?
And then I went back a little bit, I'm like, no, I just saw this. But... yeah, it just feels like you don't know what's going on because you don't know what's going on.
I haven't seen an anime like this in forever, and I had this issue with a lot of anime, namely like really bad isekais that came out around this time. There was a lot of just like skipping and pacing that like just doesn't make sense, and you see that a lot in Sword Art Online. That's one of my biggest criticisms about Sword Art Online, which is also weird that we've never been recommended it. Mm-hmm. But, like, it was fairly popular for a while. You know what I mean? Like, it created this second boom of isekai. And if you rewatch season 1, I've probably rewatched season 1 like 4 times. I shit on it all the time, but, like, it's enjoyable to watch. Like, it's one of those that's got, like, a million problems. Mm-hmm. But it's easy to watch because it was a novelty at the time.
Yeah. Akame ga Kill has a lot of problems, but we like it.
Exactly. It's like that. You know what I mean? Its strengths are super strong, and it's original enough for me to, like, stay involved. Mm. But my point is, season 1 of Sword Art Online has awful, awful pacing. It's the same thing. Like, it's just skipping just large segments of, like, character building.
Yeah, and you feel lost. And I don't know, man. How do you want to end this Deadman Wonderland story?
I don't even remember how it ended because it ends on a cliffhanger. It ends halfway through. Like, it's clear that they wanted to treat season 1 as 24 episodes. It gets cut off right at episode 12. And it's just... fuck, I don't even know. They bust out Nagi, and he kills a bunch of guards, and Ganta's convinced he's going to be a badass just like Nagi, and it never happens.
Because Nagi was the leader of this civilization, or like this community under the prison system and shit like that. So he was meant to be like a look up to figure, but like again, there's no content for this.
Yeah, he has a fall from grace because he gets like mind controlled with drugs, and now he's part of the prison guard,
and he goes crazy and he kills like mostly guards.
Yeah, but then Senji snaps him out of it by kicking his ass, and
no, he gets his ass kicked again.
Oh, I can't even remember.
Yeah, that's when he's getting punched in the face, and he's like, "Move out of my way, little kid."
It's so passive though, like, you know what I mean. And then it just ends there. End of episode 12.
And no, end of episode 12 is fucking Shiro and Ganta hanging out just like if they were out of school.
Yeah, they bust out of Section G.
And this is the only fucking time that they bring up the Red Man. It's like, I guess I need to figure out who the Red Man is so I can figure it out my fucking,
who
my innocence.
Yep.
And that's it. We get an OVA on Senji.
Yep.
Which was cool, but again...
Senji used to be in prison, and he got bullied by the Yakuza. What do you want me to tell you? Like... Nothing. Like... Oh, my God. And fuck. People need to get the fuck out there. You know what I mean? Like... It's okay to watch things that didn't end up on Adult Swim or Toonami. Like,
and I like watching it, and I like that I've watched it already, so I know not to watch it.
No, I didn't like it the whole time. I was miserable.
No, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't like it. But if somebody were like, once this fucking COVID shit is done and this pandemic is done, and we can go out and live our lives like regular drunks at bars, I wish when somebody's like, "Oh, you know what you should watch? Deadman Wonderland." I'm
bitch.
Like, bitch. Get out of here.
Honestly, like, I think about telling people that shit all the time when, like, they hit us up and they offer, and they, like, their input is something I know is garbage. Like, I know for a fact
we at least have to make it an episode so we can...
Right. I have to give it its
benefit of the doubt.
Right, exactly. Because I remember, like, 2 Sundays ago, I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I just kept, like, grabbing random nerds' phones, and I was like, "You're going to subscribe to the podcast, you're going to subscribe to the podcast." And this one guy was going through the episodes, and he was just like, "Oh, you haven't seen Deadman Wonderland? You haven't seen, like, these other shit anime?" I'm just like, dude, no, you gotta get the fuck out. Like,
yeah.
you need to watch some real content. Like, fuck me.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy. But that was 2011, Deadman Wonderland.
It got canceled. It got canceled because it was bad.
It got canceled. Globe Studios, Manglove Studios, you went bankrupt.
It's never getting a season 2.
It's never going to get a season 2.
The author hated the anime adaptation.
You can read the manga. I haven't read the manga. I don't want to read the manga just because I was so upset at the anime.
The anime is pretty bad. But... fuck, man. I think that's it. Definite thumbs down. Second worst thing, like, I think we've seen as part of the podcast.
It's Parasite.
Deadman Wonderland.
It's Deadman Wonderland, and it's Soul Eater for me. Bottom 3.
Soul Eater's good.
Soul Eater, don't get me wrong. Deadman
there's a big gap there.
Yeah, there's a big gap
between, like, 2 and 3.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that's about it.
Nerd down.
Nerd down.
Nerd down.
Nerd down.
Wow, brother. What a week. 12 episodes never felt so long. Welcome back, nerds. Welcome to the Nerd Down. This is Aldo. This is Drew. We're here. We are back. I know there was a delay. Sorry for that, but I did have to work. You went to San Antonio.
I went to San Antonio. That's why we were originally delayed. I had a great time. You know what I mean? I'm excited to be watching Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid this week. I already saw like 5 episodes last night. We're recording on Tuesday night. That shit was dope. I think this shit's real spicy. Like, and this might be like the first official Yuri we've ever seen.
It's funny. I mean, the next thing. Oh no, I said I wasn't gonna bring it up in season 2.
What?
The closest thing we'll have watched to a Yuri is it was something, but I'm not gonna bring it up.
Madoka, but I love Madoka. Like, I love Madoka Magica so fucking much.
We're not recording. God damn it! Yeah, our video job got fucking.
Yeah,
silged.
It took. Aldo can't open up any memory on his phone. We keep fucking this up. But we're trying our best. We'll try again this Saturday because we have J. Alejandro Garcia on to talk about Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
He's very excited.
S. Senpai Wolf on Twitter. He's very excited. He did my graduation photo shoot. So, like, you can check out my Instagram at the Drewshbag if you want to see Jay's work. He is trying to fill up graduation photo shoot shots. So, if you're graduating from college or high school, I guess, in these upcoming months, please hit up S. Senpai Wolf on Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah, Valentine's is also very excited. And also, please, if you're listening to us in any device, please don't forget to subscribe. I don't know where we're getting so much listeners without that many subscriptions.
Yeah.
But just hit subscribe so we can get some numbers right, so we can see what you guys like, what you guys don't like.
That's why that shit doesn't make sense. Because, like, we're only listed as having, like, 22, 23 subscribers. But every time we upload an episode, within 30 minutes, we have 50 downloads. That means we have, like, 50 people. I don't know. RSS doesn't make sense, but yeah, we're trying our best.
Yeah, we're trying our best.
We'll hit 3,000 hopefully next month, but you might be having a kid either this week or next week, so we're all just holding on tight.
Hey, the downloads are still going to be there.
Yeah,
the downloads are still going to be
there. But I'm just warning our audience that we might have a delay in recording because exciting shit's happening. This is going to be dope.
Yeah, Baby Saeed is getting kicked out. He's getting evicted out of the V building.
Out of the V&A building?
Out of the V&A building soon, so...
Yeah.
And then in 18 years, he'll be kicked out of, wherever we're living.
We expect him to sell this podcast and make all his inheritance.
Hopefully. Hopefully. Yeah, and, man, great week. You went to San Antonio. How'd that shit go?
I went to San Antonio. That shit was exciting. I went skydiving. And then immediately from skydiving, we went kayaking, which is like it's a nothing burger. You know what I mean? You're just sitting in a canoe, just lightly paddling.
Blitzed.
Yeah, so it was like, it was a very different scenario. But San Antonio was weird, bro. Like... It's because
no COVID in Texas.
Everyone was super friendly. Don't get me wrong. Everyone was super, super nice and friendly. But like a lot of people were not wearing a mask. Like the nicest person could be talking to you straight face without a mask on, thinking that shit's cool.
Give me a percentage of people that were wearing a mask.
30%.
30% people were wearing
less than half.
But that was like all staff members.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? It's people working and like I don't know. It felt strange being around old people without a mask on. Like it made me feel bad.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
But yeah, we went on St. Mary's Street, which is like the St. Mary's College like bar district. That shit was dope. That was like me and Karen's second time there. Super, super fun. It was just a long day. You know what I mean? I'd never done touristy San Antonio stuff, even though we technically live in Texas, even though some people think we live in New Mexico.
Yeah.
But yeah. And
it sounded fun. I haven't gone out in a while, especially with the whole pregnancy test. But yeah, pregnancy.
The whole pregnancy.
Yeah.
Have you been finishing up on any anime for spring 2021? Because the season's almost over.
Well, I am watching the 3rd season of AOT. I hadn't finished it the first time that I got into it, so I'm rewatching it so I can get into the last season.
I'm like 4 episodes behind on AOT.
So, but I have been watching... One Piece, if you were interested to talk about that.
No, do you want to talk about One Piece? We can talk about One Piece. I saw that you were at Chopper's introduction when I watched it.
Yes.
And Chopper's, like, if you're on like the Crunchyroll store right now, or like any internet anime store, you can see
TikTok video.
You can see that Chopper's like the most popular like selling point because he's the only cute character. Air quotes cute character.
Yeah, is there Baby Yoda?
Yeah, it's the Baby Yoda of the One Piece franchise, and it's the early episodes like feel gritty, you know what I mean? Because the animation looks really raw and rounded, and Chopper doesn't look like Chopper like he does now.
Later on, yeah.
Because everyone else, the character designs basically stayed the same. Like Luffy effectively looks the same now in the first 100 episodes as he does in episode 900. Mm-hmm. But like Chopper looks like a way different character, and the girls just change. Like Nami at a certain point loses her entire waistline, and she's just a pair of tits and hips. and that's what the One Piece manga gets shit on a lot, because at some point Eiichiro Oda, the author of the manga, he just decided, fuck it, fan service. Like, I'm not gonna give you any real fan service, so here's Nami with tits.
Well, it seems to me that's something that it's gone on for so long. It definitely has to jump on some wagons if he wants to get to where it's going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
A little bit. And when I talked to CJ about One Piece, who was on our One Piece episode of this podcast, he's in love with Nami. Like Nami's his waifu of waifus. And it's because of like the modern character design. You know what I mean?
You dirty bird.
And then we wonder why girls can't get into like certain animes and shit, because it's like that's like current episode 900 Nami has like a 3-inch waist. and like a 36D chest, like you know what I mean? Like it doesn't even make sense anymore.
But I think it's really fun. I think it's really cool how it's going. I don't know why I have the urge to watch it. I just watch it, and it's easy for me to watch it. It's great.
It's great. Like the early motivations are dope. Like you want to see what happens, because like if you're just like a loosely affiliated nerd, you've seen screenshots of how they end up, or like even this Luffy figurine that you bought, the character design's different than what Luffy looks like now, just because he has this giant scarred up X on his chest.
I don't know where that is in the
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what's cool, because as a new viewer, you're almost excited to learn these points and like where this shit came from.
Yeah, but I think it's really fun. Also, I was reading this article that apparently the people that were involved in the second season of Promised Neverland don't want to be even credited for season 2 of fucking Promised Neverland because they're afraid they're not going to get jobs anymore. They
fucked up. They totally fucked up. They did the Deadman Wonderland approach and just skipped like all the actual content. I don't know what you were expecting. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. This happens a lot with anime, and I'm not entirely sure what happened.
And this is A1 Studios, right? No.
The Promised Neverland might not be A1 Studios.
No, it's, no, it is A1.
Is it A1?
Is it A1?
I'm not entirely sure. It's Cloverworks.
Cloverworks. Oh, my bad.
we do know Cloverworks.
Cloverworks, yes. My bad. It's not A1.
Because it's Darling in the Franxx, it's Persona 5 the animation, it's Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, Fairy Tail, hugely popular. So how did they fuck up? The directors never get a good job again.
And then Globe Man, or Manglobe, what is it?
Manglobe.
Manglobe, it's... I mean, they went bankruptcy. They went into bankruptcy, but like, come on, dude. Like,
it's because they didn't make any money. They didn't put out quality content.
I know, but like for somebody like Cloverworks, like why would they do something like that? Crazy.
I literally don't know. And it makes me feel like it's all up on the director at that point, because it just doesn't make sense to me. Because imagine My Hero Academia. They painstakingly do not skip any point of the manga, and it only comes out for like 24 episodes a year. And so we're waiting 10 months out of the year for a new season to come out, and there's all this content in the manga coming out at that same time. And imagine if they were just like, nah, like we got to catch up to the manga for absolutely no reason, because we think it's beneficial somehow. And we just skipped all these great fucking arcs and character building. I don't know. Because Deadman Wonderland is popular enough in the West that it could have made enough money to keep it afloat. But if they just hadn't punted it to the point that it completely bombed in the East.
Yeah, it was bad. Deadman Wonderland was pretty bad.
I'm excited about April so far. Like, we don't know if we're going to be delayed because, you're starting a family and all that. But I'm excited that we're finally going to watch Gurren Lagann at some point. Whether that be in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now, who knows. And we'll finally watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And that's like our next 2 episodes after Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. And I'm super excited because they're great anime. You know what I mean? We know they're great. Mm-hmm. It's not even up for debate anymore. It's trying to, at this point, we finally get to break down something that's a classic.
Yeah.
Which we haven't done in a long, long while.
Yeah.
Since maybe, Spirited Away.
Probably, yeah.
And that was like January. That was 2 months ago already.
Fuck.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, the year's going fast, bro. That's crazy.
And we're so just busy on the manga watching. I'm way behind on my spring 2021 anime. I'm like 4 episodes behind on Attack on Titan. I was watching episodes while getting my tire replaced yesterday, and I'm behind on Horimiya. I'm big behind on that time I got reincarnated as slime. I'm super behind when it comes to Dr. Stone, and I'm sort of caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen, just because like that seems like it's gonna have the most spoilers on Twitter on the timeline that day, and because everyone just loves the shit out of Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's just it's the biggest new shonen we've had in forever.
Yeah, and then we're getting the summer season.
The summer 2021 anime season. Continuing to be the time I got reincarnated as a slime. But we are going to get season 2 of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. So, you, Mr. Aldo Mendez, if you want to keep up with Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, as soon as we're done watching it, like this weekend, you can watch episode 1 of season 2 of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Yeah, I could.
You definitely could.
But I have other animes to watch because I have a podcast to do.
What does Zaid have to watch? You tell me.
Zaid has been watching apparently everything we've watched since we started this podcast. So he has a lot of animes on his belt. But yeah, he will be, I don't know, man. Who the fuck? What is the age that you introduce your kids to anime?
We have a friend, Mr. Jacob Mendeville.
Yes.
And he's...
Oh, yeah, little Jasmine.
Yes. He is loosely affiliated with Ms. Jasmine, and she's, like, big up on her anime watching.
She watches, like...
And her mom, Nicole, is, like, really adamant about, like, trying to do her diligent background work on which anime she's watching, and so I guess you gotta learn to be like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I can't just be like, look, Konosuba's super cool.
Never watch him, never let him watch Konosuba.
But, again, and a good point that you bring up, because Deadman Wonderland, it's something I would show to a kid just because how bad it was.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. And it's...
Not to my kid.
Right.
But, like, to some fucking kid.
It's because it's just... It's... I'm glad that we're watching these short anime both last week and this week, because Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is going to be like 60-something fucking episodes or something ridiculous, you know what I mean? And if we're going to get to that in 4 weeks, at least we had something easy to shit on this week.
Yeah. And I'm sorry to shit on it, Valentin. I'm sorry to shit on it, Keith, but come on, man. I mean, you guys haven't even watched the first season of JoJo.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's just, like, so much other just dumb shit that you could be watching.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't understand how you're such a masochist about your own time that you're just like, nah, I'm just going to refuse to watch something good.
No. But yeah, episode 36, everybody. That was Deadman Wonderland. It was the end of the Nerd Down. Please follow us on Twitter at Between Nerds, Instagram, TikTok, and... Please email us any concerns, any opinions, any grants, anything, suggestions to betweennerdspodcast at gmail.com.
Don't forget to use hashtag anti-trafficking nerds in an original tweet or Instagram post to automatically be entered into our March giveaway. For every like and retweet on an original tweet or Instagram post using hashtag anti-trafficking nerds, we will be donating to the Paso del Norte Center of Hope, which helps reintegrate victims of human trafficking back into society. So far, we have 0 entries.
Which means that if we don't give a giveaway this month, we are going to double down on the next month. So watch out for that. And let's see how many people start using this shit, you know?
This has been Between Nerds.